Hello, welcome. So today we are continuing our promotional activities, right? We stopped in between for our online shopping mall time. So today we'll be continuing about promotion of our business series, especially with the social media today. Okay. So thank you so much, all of you tuning in. And without further ado, we'll jump into the session. And I think those who are first time attending today, just wanted to tell you today the promotional of the business. There's a two-step of approach we discussed about doing a digital mastery program, where one is we are identifying the business model, second one is promotion of your business model. So we completed around identifying a business model around 50, 60 days. Now we're continuing about how do you promote your business. Okay, so we started with an email marketing and list building. So we completed that before our online shopping mall presentation on 19th. Then we continued with Q&A session, etc. Today we are back to again our continuation of the sneak peek of promotion of the business. So basically, all the 100 methods which you are going to promote, we discuss a bit, in a kind of a sneak peek we do, so then everyone can be prepared, be ready to do that. So I believe all of you the first session of the email marketing which we did it. So you start extracting your emails from various email IDs, also start building the list, and also you're planning for your opt-in strategies and double opt-in strategies. I believe all of you start working on it. So also I would like to remind the goal of having a 10,000 email IDs database who you can reach and approach them. Maybe initially maybe a general list, but over a period of time, we'll try to make it that as an opt-in list. So that's a goal we are talking about, okay? So I want you to continue that one. Parallelly, today onwards, I want you to set a goal for social media as well. So we'll discuss about it. And as I mentioned, the sneak peek. So we are going to cover a lot many portion of the social media. Then one by one, we will be implementing as well. So basically today, including auditing part, social media auditing part, we will discuss about it. Okay. So I'll jump to the PowerPoint presentation. Meanwhile, all of you settle in. So I'll take you by slide as usual. Okay. So once again, I officially welcome all of you for a 100 days digital mastery challenge. Today, 67th day, 22nd September, Tuesday. I'm live from Doha, Qatar. So we'll start with today's social media. So as I mentioned earlier, today the continuation of the promotion of the business we are discussing. We did it. The first one was email marketing and the list for email marketing building. That's first part. Similarly, today, social media and social media auditing and strategies will start discussing, and which we are going to implement in our 30 days time. So today, a sneak peek of entire social media activities and getting prepared for various social media to start using. That's exactly today our objective of our program. So I don't have to tell you how the world has changed. The world is, everybody agreed that is because of social media that's changed the world, right? Many changes, not as simple changes, a huge change happened. Now, in 2020, when you really look at it, how the demographics and about the internet and the social media, you can see around over 7.75 billion people on the planet. And we have more than 5 billion people are using unique mobile. Means not like one person having two mobile, not counted. The unique mobile numbers means over 5 billion people has mobile numbers now. They own minimum one phone. And internet users of over 4.54 and social media around 3.8. So you can see more than half of the population is already there on to use an internet now. I mean, sorry, to use social media. Internet is where you have 59% now. So now when you look at it as social media users, so why we are talking about social media users? When you look at it now as, when you start an online business, who are your customers? Whoever is there on internet are our customers. Whether you start a business in one part of the world, a different part of the world, you can reach out to the entire population, right? Now, how do we reach them out? We are not physically approaching them. We reach last week we discussed through email marketing. Another method, we'll reach out to them through social media. So various social media we use, that is exactly the reason half of the population in the world, today we can reach them through social media. So you have a potential customers in the market, over 3.8 billion people. Now, so that's the reason we need to understand how we use this technology, how we use this opportunity, and how use this platform and reach out to the consumers and repeatedly getting the business. So that is exactly today. Now we'll try to understand about social media activities, social media usage for our business or online business or offline business. When you look at the social media users today, so we classify, look at the category, like when you derive the customers. Plus, those who attended the previous workshop, the avatar of the customer, we discussed about the customer is the important part, right? Now, what are going to be customers with us? Now, more than half of the human race today, less than 30 years old. So we are a young population in this world. So this more than half of the population, they don't know a world without internet. So I come from a generation, I've seen a world without internet and with internet. There are many people who don't even know the world, how it works without internet. So that's a world we are living in. And they, how they feel it, especially you start with them. So they are the people who are, live with the social media. So when you look at it today, how it's just changed the world, how important it is. So 1 in 6 marriage happened in the last year. This is basically they met through social media. I'm not talking about they actually somewhere else they met, they come out connected in social media. No, the first time in their life they met through social media platforms. So this is one of the important part. 1 in 6 marriages. Okay. Now you also know 1/3 of the women, 18 to 34 years of age, they wake up and check the first in the social media, especially the Facebook. The first thing is they do as soon as they get up. So that's the first thing. And 95% of the millionaires have already joined one of the social networking already. That means significant percent of the people already part of social media. Now, when you look at it, even the new or other generation X or other generation also is already there on internet and also making a good presence on. Now, when you look at the business point of view, we'll come to that one now. When you look at the consumers, co-workers, all the decision makers, they are there. Like we discussed about the email marketing time, you need to reach out to the decision makers. So most of the B2B companies already have a social media accounts. So you need to reach out to them. You can. That they're already there on social media. And compared to other places, in other places, when you physical marketing or other marketing, when people may not be open to you to reach. The moment a person on a social media, they are open to for a communication. So 81% of the B2B companies, they are out there, so you can reach out to them. And 93% of the business buyers, actually, they buy because of social media and they also advocate their products. This one is we discussed something some of you already know. Some is not there. We'll also cover this topic for you. That is called the decision-making funnel. Thus, you know that the stage of a consumer comes to conviction to commitment and they become loyal and advocate. So the social media is one of the places you can make the consumers faster way or efficient way or a better way and smart way to make our advocates. So they promote our product, they advocate they stand for us beyond a loyalty. Okay, so that's a good thing about social media. So you can utilize this power for promotion of our business. Now, in general, I think that is how powerful it is when you really look at it is, which is the radio took around 30 years time. Television took 13 years time, and internet only took 4 years time to reach out. So this is, if you look at it here, anything, the people who depended on radio advertisement and commercial TV advertisement, all other things, they took a very long time to establish their business in the market. When here you look at internet, you can do much, much faster that one, okay? Now, when you look at each platform, like in a Facebook, so you can see 2.7 billion users are there on every month. And in that, 43% are B2B companies. And B2B companies are there, 77% is also there. This is a fantastic place where we can go and interact and build up a business on it. And if the Facebook is going to be a country today, I think they'll be the largest country, bigger than India and China. So that is the way the Facebook is grown. So you are targeting the biggest country on earth the moment you target Facebook. And when you look at it now, it's more than the double of the China's population Facebook has it. So think about it, when people say China is a bigger market, India is a big market, or US is a bigger market. And Facebook is much bigger than that, okay. Now, when you also look at the LinkedIn, we discuss another social media, 15 million unique visitors every day. So to reach out to any decision makers, especially you reach out to the B2B segment, you need a decision makers, and decision makers are there on a LinkedIn part. And all the Fortune 500 companies are there on a LinkedIn. That's a good thing. So if you wanted to have any kinds of a relationship building, whether it's a normal customer or B2C customers or anything, so they are the people we can reach out there. And there are 600 million search on Twitter alone. So we also need to use the Twitter in a much better way to promote our products. And Twitter quality of the Twitter users is increasing, and some of the products is sometimes you need to go to the Twitter to get a better result. So this is the one of the platform all of us should be seriously looking into. And I think if YouTube, I don't have to mention, we had a YouTube mastery in detail. We discussed about the YouTube statistics, everything. So anyway, YouTube business usage we'll discuss about a bit later when part of our social media part. Okay. So YouTube in a significant part, as we have YouTube and YouTube mastery we completed. So I'm not specifying anything special about YouTube part. Okay. But you need to have a YouTube to promote as even part of an SEO as well. Okay. Now, the kinds of number of videos are there in the YouTube. As you know, over 1,000 years it takes us to watch and finish it off. Now, traditional media and the new media, when you look at it, now the traditional media, maybe around 10 years ago, the corporate or a brand enterprises used to spend around 95% for a traditional ATL, PTL model of the advertisement. Only 5% they used to spend on a digital media. Today, just opposite. 95% of the spend went to digital media. Only 5% is you're seeing on including TV commercial advertisement, all the things. So it's a significant change happened. So this the change we also should be looking in and understanding it is and be part of it. Now, why another way of looking at it is this one. When you look at it, only 14% of the consumers only trust advertisement. All of us know that is whatever the advertisements say, we hardly believe it. But still, the companies communicate continuously and register the brand in our brain to make the decision. And they're randomly talking to me. For example, if I don't want to buy any product, they show me, keep that showing, and they're wasting our money. And even the things which I wanted, actually, I don't trust it. But when you look at social media, they're completely a contextual advertisement. So what I'm interested in, based on my psychographic and demographics, which we discussed, based on what kind of a person I'm interested in, what kind of products I'm looking at, what will be my need. Based on that, the person will be able to advertise, number one. Number two, social media is basically not an advertisement platform alone. The many other people actually advocate for us. So that makes us a huge conversion. So that has to be part of our strategy. Please don't forget it. Okay. So now today people get the entire information online, and the social media, it's not just a thinking part, it's just also marketing. Not just a marketing part, it's also thinking. So we need to think about most of the thing in our life now based on what will be talked on social media. Now, so basically think, act, and communicate. When we discussed about it, the communication part has a huge role to play in a social media. So those who are not familiar with the pattern which I mentioned, so there is a 2 pattern of entrepreneurship we discussed in the previous days. One called BM Gosa, another one called think, act, and communicate. So think, act, and communicate is the part we will be going. So in that, social media comes on a major part of a communication. So you need to engage with dialogue. You need to communicate with the people. You need to interact with the people. So this has become very easy for us to do online. So with with your customers and the potential hires, you can actually keep engaging, and it's in a very pleasant way, without irritating, annoying them, and without being disturbed. So that's a beauty of our social media now we have. So I believe none of you are now thinking about you don't want to use a social media for a social promotion, and it's already affected or created an impact, right? Now, how we are going to use, or which platform we are going to, what kind of a strategy we are going to use. So we'll discuss about that in detail today. And then as a sneak peek, we'll complete up to auditing and little management as well, and lead generation. So that are the major thing we are going to discuss today. You look at the statistics now. Now, of course, Facebook is leading the world, like in terms of social media and social networking, and followed by YouTube and the WhatsApp, as you know, because of the convenience and the reach. They're doing a significant, of course, a part of a Facebook, then FB Messenger, instant chat, and there are so many things people are connected. So we need to prioritize based on our consumers, based on our market. We need to do this one. And as we discussed in this earlier part as well, the people spend huge time for on a connection, spending a time to engage on a social media. So in another way, business point of view, when you look into, we are getting that much time to interact with our consumers, to communicate with the consumers, to communicate with the potential customers. So this is an important part. We need to focus on it. Now, 91% of the mobile internet people are utilizing for social media activities. So that means he has internet connection, he's using for social media activity, majority of the thing. And the millions of messages are shared on a daily basis, and various platforms we need to use for this one. So first thing, to reach out to the communication purpose, to reach out and engage with the people for it, we need to use the various social networking sites. So of course, start with Facebook. We also use Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Reddit, Zing. And then we treat as a YouTube as a slightly different as a YouTube streaming video site. Okay, it's not considered as a social media. So these are the social media we're going to utilize. So those who want to be part of the championship, we want to be part of the campaign with us, please create all this social media if you don't have it. So this will be, we will be using all these social media activities. When we have something like SEO 101 where we use 11, there is a 2-3 different strategy we are talking about. So there is a different website platform you need to use. You may focus some cases one platform, but you need to have a presence all the thing. That's the way we will be going out the campaign on it. Then we have a streaming videos like YouTube. So that's a different strategy that we discussed on 10 way of making money with the YouTube. So those who are not part of it, you can go back to the recordings of the YouTube and you can watch that one. Then blog is also a social media. So as you know, these are places actually you get a lot of conversion because you are engaging people with a good content. Then we have microblogs and we also have a Wikipedia. So this is another way of communication to the people, and this Wikipedias people trust a lot. So that's a plus point we have. People take the decision time. They give a lot of importance for a Wikipedia to take a decision. Now, you need to have a lot of campaign and people to respond and people to interact. Instant messengers are the best, or definitely instant messengers should be part of the campaign we are doing. So like, for example, you're doing a social media campaign, WhatsApp has to be part of that. So WhatsApp, Skype, and WeChat are the best now when you look at the messengers. Of course, WeChat is the leading in a way because WeChat also has a payment system. WhatsApp yet to come out of the payment system. Obviously, soon, I think WhatsApp is coming up. I think this year, end or maybe next year, first week, they will be next year, first month itself. They'll be announcing it as even a WhatsApp transactions. So WeChat and WhatsApp transaction, changes a lot in the world. Think about you have audiences with WhatsApp, and you need a transaction to happen. You need to have customers in the WhatsApp. You need to have various groups. You need to have a broadcast list. You need to have multiple people, joining on a daily basis for a business's purpose and promotional purpose to focus completely on a WhatsApp part. So WhatsApp is an integral part of social media part. And WeChat is already proved. If you are looking for some part of the world like China and other part, WeChat play a major role, and even transaction is doing. Same way, WhatsApp are also going to do soon. Okay, so that means you have a customers, you can reach out to the people anytime, and they buy on the spot. So that's the beauty of the program we are going to discuss now. Okay. Now, as you know, webinar was picked up like anything. Zoom is the company. Earlier we used to, webinar on air or go to meetings where they're using. Now Zoom to cover the major market, and because of the COVID-19 lockdown period, people went to the Zoom, and started doing the webinar. So webinar is another source, and people say the conversion of the webinars are very high. So webinar really works on it. Now, all of you know that is most of you are using social media and you are active on a social media, and you spend a lot of time and a lot of creativity. You connect a lot of things, you gain it, you made a networking, you have entertainment, so many things you do. So when you look at why our brands and companies are social media, before that, why are normal people use social media? So when you look at ask this question to yourself, usually you use social media. One is for communication purpose, maybe interactions purpose, maybe entertainment purpose, maybe be in touch with the people on it, maybe in a relation, building a relationship apart of it, maybe sometimes gathering information. These are the major reason an individual comes to the website or a social media and spend the time. Majorly networking, connection, news, information, debate, and dialogue, and expressing your opinion and taking a concern and consulting and counseling and transactions, all the things use basically you use the social media. Now here is a question. Now you as an individual, you are starting an online business, and or you're a part of an online company. So as a company, what exactly or why the companies are using, why the businesses are using social media? That's a relevant question, right? So majorly people say the answers are like this: to increase the brand awareness. Yes, this is one of the major thing. Today, all the enterprises and the companies, they try to create their brand with making a social media presence. And this is a very important aspect to do. I think we'll discuss a bit later about how you do that, a brand awareness. Then to get to have a good touch with the people, to feel about good about that. We discussed something like positive reinforcement to happen. So people use social media there. And it also to connect to the followers and fans. It's also people use the social media. And of course, they increase the website visitors. People look for a social media to get the traffic to your website. Another thing, people generate leads through social media. So you want to see who's potential customers to buy for this, that they see as a lead generation. Now, obviously, the booster sales, increase the sales. Many of the people just depend only on a social media. Maybe one platform they depend on to have a sale. One platform is more than enough for the people to get a sales as well. These are the major reasons people use it. And people also use various promotion of various content. For example, you may not be doing a kind of a conversions or a lead, but you want to do places for a brand, or you want people to nurture them, or you want them to think about it differently. Okay? So promotion of the content is a very important part. And this content is basically help the people to reach more and more people on it. Okay, and you may also source the product ideas from the followers. Many of the people come and give you feedback, and that's one of the way companies are using social media. Now another thing, something called ORM, online reputation management. So about your company's reviews or the complaint or the concern expressed, or the competitors tarnishing you, or some genuine mistake happened sometime. Sometime a wrong report about you, or a rumor, or maybe newspaper thing which you want to clarify. All this purpose also people do use social media for reputation purpose. And maybe crisis communication also, as we discussed. Some cases, a clarification from the organization side. So my mainstream media is neglected, or sometimes you need to tell the truth about what is happening around, or sometimes you need to communicate. There are so many companies very honestly reached out to consumers in the lockdown period, especially many of the companies who provide subscription services. Many companies provide a loyalty program. Many companies who provide yearly schemes or maybe membership schemes. So they had a connection. Many of the businesses in the world today getting closed. So many of the companies and many different countries, when the companies are closing down, the crisis coming, they're saying that we are out of the business, we are not able to survive, we are going to close down. Or you have a membership, thus you have this many points, you can redeem this before 31st of October. So these kind of a communication. It's a kind of a crisis communication you are doing, and it shows your intention. So after that, when you close down, many of your loyal customers, many of the subscription customers, many of the customers who avail your service on an annual basis, and suddenly you are disappeared, it will be an issue, right? So this kind of a crisis communication, the company is using social media to reach out to the people. And it's also to customer and the audience to engage with that social media. They're one of the best place where our customers can use it. As you know, today the businesses works with around influencers. So if you wanted to have a tie-up with influencers, definitely you'll be part of social media. Otherwise, you cannot utilize it, right? And customer care and customer support is another objective people use for social media to reach out to the customers, extending customer support. Okay. And many of the companies, as you know, people are expecting today WhatsApp support. You contact them, you expect people to respond. Even though officially they don't communicate, there is a WhatsApp support, you expect people to respond through the WhatsApp. Okay. So this is one of the expectations people keep it that nice. So that better to be part of your social media plan. Customer support extending is really good. And you can also monitor. So now you get a traffic source and where the conversion happening, you will be able to monitor that one. And more about the customers is doing, what else they do, what else they buy, how much time they have, let's say they have a $10,000 salary, and how much they spend in my outlets only 500. Where is 9,500 they're spending? And okay, like say I'm a fashion outlet, but I don't have an accessories, but my customers are spending additional 500 or 1,000 for another thing. So these are the thing actually you can find out when you go to the social media profiles, what exactly are others doing. So this is more understanding about or more learning about the consumers. It's a, what is it? This is an important aspect. Okay. Now, the people wanted to keep eye on it's a competition. You want to know what else the competitors are doing. In old days, the corporate companies used to hire people, to appoint to go under other companies and find out. Nowadays, not record. What is happening is very clear. Is happening. The platform is there. Social media, the competitor, what it's planning to do, what it's doing, everything is there and visible on the platform. Now, another things people use to get informed about the upcoming changes. The many companies goes and do online, not offline. So it is important part to get connected and get the information as well. And overall, the promotion of the business is very important and that one. Okay. Now, there is some online digital marketing tactic which we use, something called retargeting and remarketing. So to use that, you need to have a presence of social media, right? So online, you must have a presence. Okay. Now, here is companies spending now very good money on their business to promote. Around $8 billion they're spending, and that is growing on every year basis. So 2022, that 8 billion is expected to grow 15 billion. So only with an influencer marketing, which we discussed about it. So influencer marketing, if you want to do effectively, you must have a good presence on a social media. Okay. Now, so when you say, when you go to introduce the social media for a business perspective, so now as we start with the personal usage, then come to the why the companies are using. Now look at it as in a business perspective. I'm not talking about your personal perspective. As you know, personal perspective, we know that communication, interaction, entertainment, and views, expression, and connection with people. These are the things which you usually do social media. But here in the business purpose, what exactly the objective? We'll discuss about it. So first of all, we'll make sure that is what exactly we meant for a social media. So social media is just a website, and basically 99.99% of the content is created by the people, right? And it's a very highly accessible and scalable technology we have it now. So we have seen a lot of examples as we discussed, as Facebook to all the things all of you know. I'm not going to repeat. I think we already given the list as well. Now, why social media? That's a question. Why we should have a social media to use on? So you need to know that people are there, people buy, and people buy more often, and they talk and they share ideas and instant communication, instant purchase campaigns. So much are to resolve. But if you can only do this is if you have a good strategies in place. So if you don't have a right strategy in social media, we cannot succeed actually. So today we'll discuss about major 4 topics today. One is our social media objectives. So you have an e-commerce website, you have an online shopping mall website, or you have a affiliate marketing website, or anything which is you have it a business. Why you need to utilize social media? That's the first question you should be asking. Then once you have the answer, that you have to have a clear answer about the objective you wanted to achieve. Once you start using, let's see one by one how objectives are defined. Once based on objectives, we'll come out of the strategies. Then we cover social media marketing and the management. So these are major topics we are going to discuss, and especially those who are new to these social media for business users. I believe most of you, you have never used anything earlier for a business purpose. So in that case, please pay attention. Okay. So social media objectives. First is, as we discussed, the branding. So you need to, we need to have that. Is everyone who's have a normal website or a social media website, or a dropship website or drop service website, or affiliate marketing website, whatever the method you are planning to do the business. The most important thing is that the people perceiving the brand about your company or about your website. So as you know, the moment the name here it is, you have a perception about that company, even with the domain name, with the look and feel, the logo they see, the email post you see, and the videos you see, and maybe thread you see, newsfeed you see, everything people pursue at the brand. So one is written communication is there, some unwritten communications are there, which is you did not tell them, but we will understood. Based on an image you use, based on the projection you use, based on your social media, based on your Facebook, based on your YouTube channel, based on your Insta, based on your LinkedIn, people are going to judge you what kind of a company you are, what kind of a business you're offering, what kind of business you are, and they build a trust from there. So branding is the most important fact of the objective. So you need to think about how do you get the branding objective achieved. So what kind of a branding you wanted, what you want people to others to think about you. And through the branding, what exactly are going to achieve, your conversions or your valuations or the news spreading, getting an advocate, etc. So this can be a branding part. So this is one of the most common objective of the people to keep it. Not necessarily all the cases. There are cases people not bother about a brand. They only do sales on it. Okay. So the first objective is a branding. Most other companies use social media to create an awareness, whether it is Instagram or it's a Facebook or a YouTube video. So people wanted to communicate what you have, maybe in terms of product or the services or the solutions or the achievements you wanted to promote through the people. So, and apart from the branding, another most common is awareness to create about your products to the market. Now, you also wanted people to engage in your social media. How best they can engage, how more they engage, based on that, as you know, how the YouTube algorithm, social media algorithm works. The YouTube time we discussed about how the algorithm works. So you need to have a better engagement. Then we must have things in place. Okay, yeah. Now we need to get a traffic to website. You can use a social media campaign, social media various methods to people to come to your website. Now sometimes you need a people to sign up with you. You can use a social media part, or people you understand who's a customer, etc. Then there's something called lead generations. So you can generate as many leads you wanted. So lead generation can be one of the objectives. Okay. And of course, sales. You want people to just simply buy and you get profit. So that's another objective. Another case, which is a customer acquisition. It's not just a sale. You make a customer acquired, maybe complete subscriptions or a bulk orders and repeated orders. So this is a customer acquisition is another thing. So it's not just a sale. You're acquiring a customer for a much longer period. And of course, customer support and other things. Also, people use social media as majorly today. Okay. Now, here there's one strategies we jump into that before we go to management aspects. Now, you have a business goal and you have a social media goal. Many other companies will not sync each other. And if they don't sync each other, it's not properly, actually, result will not be achieved, or productivity will be very less. So what exactly social media goals, what you're talking about? Social media goals is basically based on the goal you set for your website or your businesses. Let's say you have an affiliate marketing website or you have an e-commerce website. So what exactly you're planning to achieve on a monthly basis? How much is the sale you are increasing? How much is the number of customers you want to buy? So that's a goal you set for your website. So same goal you need to connect with through social media and align with your overall goals. So this is the way social media goal works. So now we'll come to the social media goal. So before that, you should have something called VM COSA. So those who are starting in now the first time the businesses. So VM COSA is a method we work on. So think what exactly the vision of the company, how we achieve this mission. Then we use a goal, 3 months plan, 6 months plan, 1 year plan, 5 years what you're planning to do. Then objective, then strategies and action plan. So here we are talking about making a strategy to achieve the vision which you wanted. So that vision to achieve, social media is one of the tools to reach, to get the leads, maybe branding, something like that. So this is part of it, right? Now, here is your social media goal must be aligned with your other goals and the company's goal as well. So just to go hand in hand. So we'll discuss in detail a bit later on. So first of all, you need to understand about social media is not about money resource available to you, or the strategy is not matter, or the technology is matter. Social media is kind of a teamwork. And if you do with a good team, and as a team, as an entire organization, it'll be great. So that's very, very important. Most of the time, people do fail here, actually. Okay, yeah. Now, many other people, and you want to do your entire organization can be part of it, maybe portion of the employee, but which modern trend is every employee is actually engaged in a social media activity for the companies as well. Okay. Now, the important part is actually when we set a goal for your social media thing, you need to really look for a big goal actually, because it's possible. So if you think very small, it's going to be end up very small. So we need to make a good goal for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, etc. Okay. Now, you also should show to the people and share with the people, this is what exactly we are trying to achieve. So one of the goals which I shared with you last time, those who are having an affiliate website or maybe drop service website or online shopping mall website, you need to have a certain sale on a daily basis, right? So think about, to have a social media platform where good number of audience are there. So that's the reason exactly we discuss about you have an audience up to 10, minimum of 10,000. So two reasons we discuss about it. One is the Google to recognize your social media to rank in the Google first page or against the search result. They do. So you need that kind of numbers or 5-digit. Second one is that 10,000 is a good reasonable numbers where you can go and put something about the company and that will generate the lead as well. So these are the what do you call the social media goals. When you set, you think about how much I want to grow on Instagram, how much I want to go to the Facebook, how much I want to go to YouTube, etc. Now, I would like you to take a pen and paper and note down these points now. I would like you to do this one. Now, if you have a website or you are planning to start a website, as you know, you have a different market. If you are choosing SEO 101, we prefer to have 11 market. So usually you start with one market, then go to different marketplace, right? Different marketing activities. So think about as a goal. Now you have a lot of customers from Qatar, lot of customers from one country, but you think your potential customer is not that from market, or other market is more potential than this. You prioritize and make a goal. I want to reach 10 countries, 20 countries, 25 countries, etc. So this is, to expand into your market is one of the best things is the social media. So you make a goal. Through my social media, I'll try to expand to a new market. Okay. Second one is you are planning to do a flipping. So you improve your website valuation the moment you have a 10-digit of the social media followers. Now, there is another goal which all of us is going to work on a part of our championship: 3 sales a day. So 3 sales a day from social media. It's not email marketing, nothing. So we're talking about purely through social media. We are achieving 3 sales. So this is another thing we should do it. So here is how do we achieve this goal? So how we achieve this goal? So expanding new market is first thing is you need to build a relationship with the social media influencers. And it's compared to the olden days, this is a fantastic thing now. We don't have to go through an agency or a corporate house. We have an individual can communicate with 100,000 people, 200,000 people out of 1 million people. Sometimes you can also see 4 million, 5 million followers, and the city has a population or country has a population. So this place is, you want to expand. So this is a fantastic thing to do it as. So we need to build a relationship, discover a relationship with the influencers and be part of this. So this more about this actually I covered in detail about, there's a last week, Saturday we discussed about the social media influencer. So influencer is a very, very important segment of social media marketing aspect. Okay, so please never forget this one. So building a relationship with the new market is your primary aspect on it. Okay. Now, as you know, the social media influencer already have a credibility in the market. So what they say to the market is also matters. So we can gain a good thing. Okay. Now, partners with influencers. Now, it actually can grow any level, depends upon the people you're getting. Now, another thing is actually to have a high quality content for promotion of the marketing activities. Now, you need to have a good number of content about your niche, about the product, about the company, and to position your company, a website from others' market. Okay. Now, how do we achieve the 3 sales a day? So, of course, there is a campaign, etc. We discuss about it. But the thing is, finally, you will be doing a campaigns, right? Some of the other campaigns. So, if it is a paid campaign, as you know, it's a damn expensive. And if you don't have a paid campaign, other one, you need to be part of it, right? So, how do you make that engagement is also important. So, 3 sales a day to happen, we should have a get strategies. So, in the strategy part, we'll discuss about it in detail. So, but to implement those strategies and to get a 3 sales a day, you need to create an audience now itself. So that time when you try to share something, you hardly have a 10 followers. That is your relatives and your neighbor. It does not make a sense. You need to have a good number of them, right? No. And make an engagement of the people to be part of this to achieve this 3 sales a day. So that's one of the goal we'll be setting. All of us together setting to work on a championship. So that's important. 3 is an example. Can we have 5? Can be 1? Depends on your market and the capacity and strength and commissions or the profit which you make. Ultimately, we need to have a balance sheet. It's a positive. So we need to have a strategy based on it. Okay. Now, when we say expand to a new market, something like this actually you can note down. One is actually a new market, a new country, or a new territory, a new continent, or even within your country, there's a new market. So first of all, what the best thing you can do is building a relationship with influencers. So that particular city, you'll find out and to have a long-term relationship with an influencer to discuss the vision of your company, discuss your strategy you're using, the product you're using, quality and the services, everything. All the things you need to start a relationship with the influencer. It can be different level. It depends upon the influencer. It may vary, but it's very, very important to have this one. And also partnering with the influencers to grow to the new audience we can have, we can get through them. Now, there are a few content strategies like your blog also, you will be connected with the social media and through TOFU content. So TOFU is top of the funnel content. You need to work on a really systematic way to reach the people to convert and get them. Okay. Now, make a sales 3 days a week, so which include social media campaigns to promote product launches can be there, or raise awareness that can be there, and increase your website valuation, which is by doing all the things. If you get a more influence, you get a good valuation on this part. Okay, so increase your valuation based on your social media growth as well. Okay. So I believe you're getting an idea what we are talking about as a strategy to make on it. Now, the social media goals and metrics, you need to align with your entire company's promotions. Now, as we discussed, the brand awareness and reach hitting that is very important. Drive on traffic, bringing it to the website also important. And lead generation also very important part, right? So you need to get many leads. You may not record a customer to come and buy from the website. You need to generate a lead. Lead is in the sense, to get the people who are interested. I'm going to cover pretty much in detail about leads. End of the session, after the social media, we talk about the leads, how to generate. Then we go to the lead majorly. Okay. So generating leads and those who are ready to buy on it. And of course, now you want to increase the revenue of the social media. This is one of the options to choose on it. I mean, you need to have a good sales to come. That's exactly you want to increase the revenue part or a growth. Also, you need to do that one. Okay. Now, boost brand engagement, like a comment, share, like is very important aspect. You need to take care of that as well. Now, based on your niche, based on your business, you start building a community, which each other, which connect to each other. It's like a Facebook group, one of the things you can have on a Twitter, you can connect with. So basically, building a community around with that will be a fantastic idea. Now, since the various shares, like I mentioned, you can choose, and you can be part of that as the promotion of that, and you increase your press activities through mention, etc. You can. Okay. Now, learn about your customers, and also think about how much conversions are happening. You can also take an instant feedback from the people, and that's a good thing about social media. If you're using, you can do instantly, right? Now, it's important is what platform you choose is completely based on what kind of a niche you have, what kind of a market you're planning to start on this one. Okay. Now, major platforms, as we know, we'll discuss about Facebook, Insta, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. These are the things we use majorly one. Now, one important thing is you need to consider this. Before you starting in social media, you need to set up a smart goal. Now, how you achieve it is you set part of your start a smart social media goal. There's a smart is a method of social goal. Some of you attended my social goal setting. I think I might have shown you something called PPP-TFM. Here is slightly different. I think that's the time itself I might have explained to you. In the social media world, people use SMART as these management part and converting the goals. Vision to the goal. They use a SMART method. Or a dreams to convert to the goals. Basically, they use the SMART method or a PPP-TFM. In brief, what does a SMART stand for? SMART stand for basically how specifically you do this one. Okay, and I'm talking to SMART bit later on. So developing a content strategy. So now you wanted to promote your social media. What kind of a content strategy method we go? Based on a platform also matter. The way you can produce in YouTube is completely different in Twitter, right? So we need to have that one. And constantly measuring this progress also important, at least once in a week, and understand where do we stand, etc. Of course, once in a day, everybody recommend, but at least measure the progress once in a week as well. Okay. Now, there is something called aligned social media goals and business goals. Means it's very important to have something called brand awareness. Is your business goal, social media goals should be reaching to the number of people. You wanted to create a good brand awareness, so then you are doing a social media campaign and they give you how many people they could reach about. Now, that many of the business work through word of mouth. Here, social media, you have to take care like a sharing and retweeting is an important aspect. Okay. Now, leads, we can generate an action. You want to generate a leads, so you need to do a lot of activities on social media to get the leads. Now, business goal usually set up for sales. Social media language is a conversion. Okay, so how many people converted for to become to take away the service or subscription product. So this is the social media goal part. Okay, now so establishing a SMART goal. So what exactly is SMART goal as well? So it should be SMART is basically it should be stand for specifically you're talking how many what kind of a customers you wanted, what kind of people to come to you, how often you wanted them to come. So I wanted this many people to be part of my social media. So that should be very, very specifically you'll be talking about. Then M start for a measurable, like an PPT-TFM, it's a measurable. So we need to understand how much is that. we can have it. So, how many people we can reach, how many followers we wanted. So it's really, you need to plan 3 months from now. I'll have a 10,000 by championship. We'll have a 10,000. That's a measurable goal. Then attainable. Don't put a sum too much. Within 3 months you want a million, may not be possible unless you create a viral, right? And relevant is a very, very important. And we need to put a time. So by so and so date, I'll complete this one. I'll have a 1 year time. I'll have a more than 100,000 social media influencers. So that's one other thing you have. Okay. So here is very important to use the social media in this manner. Okay. Now your company and your social media goals, you need to take out a book and we plan over a period of time. I'm telling you, we'll actually lost in the way. We don't even know this. What is the purpose and objective started? That's an objective. We need to keep reminder every time. People say that psychiatrists and people say that is management experts say every day you think about your vision and goal. So that makes us in the right strategies as well. So it's very important to have a social media goals. Goal 1, goal 2, goal 3. You can mention and start working on it. So you need to define your. You need to define your consumers, and this we discussed many times. I'm not going to spend more time here, but identifying your market is very important. So how do you identify the market for a social media thought? Okay, step 1. Start from within us. What exactly the problem we solve by setting up this website, by doing an online shopping mall or affiliate marketing? So the first thing is you identify the problem you solve by doing this business. If you say no, I'm not solving any problem, I cannot find the problem, then better not to start that business. So when any idea which you're thinking about, actually that's a set of a problem you're solving. So that's exactly people say business means problem solving. So what exactly the problems you are solving, that's important part. Okay, now next one is, now you will list out it is, now this portion an important part, to whom we actually am solving the problem as well. Okay, now we also need to think about it is the problem which you're solving, and by the same time you can also affiliate with or associate with the other people as well. So you also think about other people who are suffering and reaching out to them as well. Now step 2, check out your existing current customer base. Do you have already customers? Sometimes you may not have it. You may have a few customers, some cases. So think about how they do. So and understand it is how they are treating about that kind of problems when they come. Are they coming to solution to you or a separate? Then another one is you need to do a research about the competition. So you look at the competitors, how they're doing, and what the mistake they're done, what the course correction they're done, what the offer they're doing, campaign they're running, etc., etc. It's part of the step 3. Step 4 is deciding the specific demographics to target. So instead of catering to multiple things, so you specifically talk about, okay, this category I wanted to penetrate and reach out. Instead of thinking, hey, I have got another person, I got another person. So instead of that, it is specifically put into one place. Okay. Now you can also target the people, when you do proper campaign. All this way, we are free to put an advertisement and do campaign. So very specifically, we can reach out to the consumers we wanted. Okay. And step 5, take account of your target markets and psychographics. Very, very important. Check out all the consumers you have. Think about the market psychographics and demographics. Those who are not familiar with what is demographic and psychographic, this is basically now your customer understanding is the customer, that was the way we defined. So basically the psychographics include the attitude, aspirations, dreams and goals and passion and the value, all the things is when a consumer come and do, that is called psychographics. Then there's a demographic as well. Demographic is basically, what's your old, your age, your gender, your location, your profession, etc. It's come that. Okay. So psychographics are kind of like a demographics. The kind of information might be your bias, habit, hobbies, and spending. That's what is exactly psychographic. Now, basically, another way, simple way to define this is, uh, so demographics, basically who your customer is. But psychographing is why they buy from you. So if you can find an answer for this, it's make sense to your consumers. Okay, for this reason, I should buy this one. Okay, so you can actually reach out to the target audience, and both information is important to reach to the people on it. Okay. Now you need to create a basic persona, the people ideal for for that particular job or a role to play that should be part of it. Now, demographic example, I think is which we discussed, like a female, the age group, and weight gain issues. These are the things. The demographic it comes on. Psychographic, so concern of health and appearance and lifestyle. So there is one is a static information which we have. Another one is his attitude and lifestyle, which the social media will be able to tell us, and we can utilize it. So very important that. Okay. So it's another thing is you need to audit your site, your social media presence. Now, as you know, now you are going to use social media for your business purpose. You have been using social media quite some time for personal purpose, and all the thing you recorded is already saved and cached by Facebook or Google. So some of the things you may not be inappropriate for the businesses you bring in. Sometimes it will contradict the brand you bring in. Sometimes all the things comes in place. So that's the reason you need to audit your site. Sometimes as a business owners, as a website owners, on your website tomorrow, not supposed to be part of something which is not good. Sometimes your political view, your religious view may not be at par with. So, but as a consumers actually judge you based on that. So it's you need to decide this kind of activities how you handle that. So it's a part of your social media auditing aspects. Okay. Now, so audit your company's and the presence. How you do it is go to the social media sites and find out the URLs of all the social media profile you have. You'll be surprised to see so many other profile for your company created by others. So you need to do audit properly, then put the URL and get the followers, existing followers in which category. Is that my customer? And if you start doing it, this people are really good, it'll be suitable to me, etc., etc. Now you also take the last activity date and actions, you're taken, etc. So this is the way you need to audit your social. I believe it. You got the idea. So once you go to social media site, then URL, then followers and activities and action part. Okay. Now survey your target audience. So this audit, I think I want you to seriously do. To sometime you need to clean up. There is a process where you need to clean. Some ID you need to remove it. Sometimes you have to change it. Sometimes you have to request you to deactivate it. Sometimes you have to activate it. Some account is dormanted. So for that purpose, to handle, first of all, before we go to the campaign, about your website and brand, you do social media sites and look at this URLs and followers, trying to understand you got the right audience, and think about all these activities. And before we are proceeding with the city, okay. Another way to understand the people is actually doing a survey. We need to look at maybe like a survey monkey, like a platform which connected with social media. You can actually promote, and through email you will understand about what their requirement, etc. Okay. So survey also you can actually do, or you yourself can do few surveys, like looking at is how many people are using this kind of a platform. You can actually target that audience specifically, and people are utilizing to that. You can understand it is they are utilizing. I can be part of that. Okay. Now know your competitors. You also think about how the competitor is doing social media. How many posts are doing on daily basis. What kind of is using it, and what kind of strategy is using. What kind of platform he's more active. Where he's getting more customers. And how many customers are talking good about him and loyal customers of him. All the things, look into to the system and put into the paper. So part of your auditing to complete round. Okay. I believe you're getting this importance. Before you start doing, you eliminate or change or modify these activities. So including the competition part, you should go and find out this detail. Okay. So You also do another chart about your competitors. Like, for example, you type a keyword and it's ranking in a Google first page by another company. So copy paste that URL and find out that the strength of that, why he could get the person, this to come to us, to reach out to the people. So that's just right. We need to know about it. Then weakness, where he's lacking, is also important to have it. And content that is doing good according to you. To look at the content and find out the details as well. Now, this post audit part, I think I tell you once again, this is very important. If you don't do, you'll be left behind on many aspects, and better to do now itself and now optimize your company social media presence in a proper manner. So social media learnings, you need to consider consolidating the following accounts to simplify the gap in your social media presence, and you can actually consider, and competitors also we need to do, and plus the content strategy which is used as well, you can consider on it. Okay. Now, another one is develop of your content strategy of your company. I know this is quite heavy for all of you to initial part to understand so much of auditing I should go. I think the answer is yes. You might have open multiple multiple accounts. Maybe sometimes you don't realize it, but when people search, people found that as well, and it will be there. So unless you take an action on it, okay. Even same thing for a content, your blog, your political views or religious views or so many other things which are already there on a content, and that also to be curated and show this is my content strategy, and to you have a good content strategy to the market. Okay, so make sure that is your company's content strategy aligned with your social media content strategy and vision and mission and all offline they decided. You'll be publishing the same exactly the words in the website. It's not add yourself, etc., etc. Okay. Now, the content sharing part, how much content we can get shared with the people, etc., is an important to do. It's part of our strategy. It should be there. Now, the different content for a different target audience is different. You think about what kind of a content you should be using for a social medias or maybe blog, etc. It's important. Okay, and important to measure the progress as soon as you performing the track. You look at it, and the progress you're making, and you can also use tools like Hotsuite. We'll discuss about the tools in the upcoming sessions, etc. Okay, so you can use that one as well. Okay, now. When you do social media progress, you make a chart like this, social media channel, and top performing content. What kind of a post you got the best? What kind of a content you got a response? What kind of a content could reach out the more, the world, the more number of people? And according to you, the same thing to repeat what the action required. Something is not working, is also you should take an action on it, right? So this is once this auditing, then you go to this. Start refining the strategy part. But I would like all of you to do these points. Please don't forget. You start doing today, maybe by 30th you complete. Then before we go to start doing an activities part. So first is audit your companies, your existing. If you're starting a new, make sure that the domain name or the brand name, maybe the keywords which you are using. Tomorrow you are going to use very regularly that keywords, and at the moment it has another social media presence, it makes you a big trouble, or sometimes it's not anything. So you need to audit this one, and a target audience need to have a making a list complete, and the target audience you can also take a survey if you want to, their average male or female, and how much percentage they're on Facebook, Twitter, and how many of them commonly there in all the platform. So all the information you keep putting into this information to the sheet, then we'll show you how we evaluate on it. Okay, and competitors leads also take it and keep it, so we know that when you're designing the campaign, this input will be very much valuable. And okay, you need to take an action to audit. It is it's not easy, as one day it's not a job, but it's important for you to do if you're planning to expand the two new areas. Okay, I believe you're getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, so take action on is for doing audit part. Okay. Now, social audit learnings are, it's very important as we discussed. Now you go and do that one. And this sheet also important. You make sure that is your progress of the company you're doing with this. Looking at what the progress for your website you are done and how it is performing. Then we'll come to the next strategy. So we need to refine the strategy. Why refining the strategy? All the strategies we are coming out is not going to work. What is going to work, we need to work on. So that's the reason. What worked well, what did not work well. So what did not work, you also have to evaluate. And many people say sometimes it don't work on a particular time and a particular audience. It may work with other one. It's also true. But you know what should work, what did not work. So very, very important learning you need to get through search on it. Okay. Now you also should make a sheet like this for the next 3 months. What's your goal? Goal 1, 2, 3. You make it. Then based on that should be your social media activities to go ahead. Now comes something called social media management. So now once you did a social media auditing, now we also discuss the social media optimization. We're also going to discuss about social media lead generation. So before we go, that is, you need to know that is lot many social media activities happening and is properly not managed, you will be in trouble. So how do you do a social media management aspect? Okay. First is basically a social media manager required to do. So kind of a fact. So if you're working as alone, you're starting alone yourself, you need to dedicate 2 to 4 hours act as a social media manager. Sometimes you may not have a team, but maybe virtually you need to do something. Now, whatever is possible, you should start doing it. So first of all, important to have a right social media manager. So deal with your social media team. Now, usually one of the things which is we recommend, and most of the people follow this in the market, which I personally used when I did a national campaign with one of the country election. So we use the same thing, which I liked it as it's very easy to manage and everybody get benefited, and it's a huge huge easily you can work on. So this is a team. So if you're starting your own the website yourself, so you have a social media manager. If you are managing yourself, you become a social media manager, or sometimes you'll have a social media manager as well. So this one, and this social media manager consists of social media team consists of another 6 type of members. So one is actually setup master, designer, then researcher and researcher and writer, then engager and monitor. Now, what exactly they do? So that's very important for us to know how it is. How they work on it. So first is setup master and designer. Not necessarily the same person to do setup. Setup can be social media manager. So designer and usually sometime designers take care of the setup activities because so that they are the people who will be in uploading and changing and everything. So social media accounts, when you look at it now, setting and graphical requirements like post and display ad and videos. Sorry, from the graphic designer it's coming. Or maybe designer part, that's the right word. Design, from setup master and designer it comes in. Now, based on the strategy you decided, based on your objective, what are objective? Branding, sales, lead generation, customer support, customer acquisition. All these things you can only achieve proper content. So based on that, you come out of the content strategy. So that content strategy to put on a system, you need to write about it in a proper manner, then go to the market, right? So you need to do a research properly. So research is a first step people should do. Based on the research input, you will get a content to be done. Usually, these are writers. So writer will make a content work. Okay. Now, the writers write content. When they write content, kindly note a couple of things to keep in mind. You should know how to write a social media content. It's normal writers comes and start writing, especially in academy style when they're writing. or some other style they're writing, they cannot actually get a right the output we wanted. So social media writing, as you know, it's a very, very different, and ask them to follow the IDA principle to make this write up properly. Okay. Now we need to engage the people. So there is somebody called engager. So they're the person. Once you get a right content and everything is ready, you go and get the people to follow you, to get all the things. So as you know, it's a very organically should be done. So engager has to engage almost like a full-time on it. Okay. So in the monitoring part is another important part. Now you need to monitor carefully, entire activities on a social media. The monitor is a person takes care of that one. Now, which one is getting a good response? Who's getting a maximum number of leads? And which content is going viral? And sometimes you have a person, the regulatory aspect, or any issues come, you need to take care. And maybe some other negative comment from any customer or anything, you address it through a monitor. Monitor will immediately report to the social media manager, and they'll take care. So this is the monitor job generally. And always they report to the social media influencer. Social media head for this. Okay, okay. So they will handle that. Now, social media team manager, what their team manager do? So all the things, coordination and direction and action plan strategies, social media do this one. Okay. Now, this is basically when you do it as a social media manager, define the objective and tell them this is what exactly we need to achieve. Because social media management, social media is such a vast place, endless opportunities, and we get entertained. And we should not be dragged, or we should not be move away from that. We need to focus about the result we want to bring. So as a result, social media team manager make sure that is all the objective was met. And social media team manager will check the progress and answer all the questions. All the things is the social media team manager will do. Okay. Now something called social media marketing department, which is basically social media managers always should be connected with the marketing department of the company, because that's the way the lead generated will be processed and given to the people. So it's basically the team which we recommend you to create. Even you're doing alone, you think about all these 7 roles you're playing. It is good to have a 7-people team or a 5-people team with working for a social media. So then the progress can be really made based on that. Then you can easily handle as well. Okay. Now. So there is something called social media optimization. So I believe you got this idea. Now, some of you might get confused. Now, I should have a 5 people or a 6 people. You may not record not even one person. You yourself can handle. But if you act as a social media manager, make sure that is, you what do you call that? Now, you play all this role. You will have all the activities of the engager and monitor, research and writer, setter, master, designer. You will do. Okay, so. Writer is doing based on a keywords. Writer is doing following IDA rule. Engager is getting more number of reach and going out. It's very, very important to have it. Okay. Now, once we do that, like in SEO, we did a search engine optimization. We also should do social media optimization. So what to do. So what exactly is social media optimization? Is basically social media optimization is set of method generate traffic and publicity through social media platform. That's simple. You're getting a more publicity and method to reach the people to come to you. Okay. And people definitely get a lot of pool of buyers who's buying. And conventional traffic method, I'm talking about the traditional traffic method like email marketing or a PPC and affiliate marketing. It's all about sales. You ask them to buy, right? So this other traffic method may not be that method actually. That's why you will have a peer-to-peer communication is getting that. Then there is something called social media traffic when you get consumer-to-consumer communication and endorsement you get as a social media part, and it's a free to usage, and you can you can have any level you can take this one. So if you're starting a venture, especially with the limited resources, and you have a lot of money to spend, it's important to have a using this kind of a method to use on it. Okay, so if you don't want to use slow ways, a lot of slow traffic like an SEO traffic you don't want to have, or maybe no, you don't want to take very long time for a SEO for you to get a traffic. But social media traffic is very faster, so you can have faster getting the result on it. And you don't have the money to spend on a pay-per-click. Of course, social media is the best way to get the people. Okay. So social media is the best in that aspect. So all the things which you, when you think about it, so to reach out to the people and get the sales, social media play a major role. Okay. So now, so there is nothing stopping us to use social media. So that is, how do I say? It's very important to have a this the presence for us to have the social media optimization to reach out to the maximum number of people. Now, how do we use an effective way? In conclusion note, first we define the objectives. We should know what are our objectives. We want to have a brand, we want to have branding, or a sales, or a lead, or a customer support, or a customer acquisition. So what are the objectives listed out? Okay. Then make a social media strategies like we discussed about now. So we did not discuss about the major strategy called 70-20-10. That has been discussed as a social media strategy. This is a sneak peek. We are not going for a strategies there now. Okay. So use a various social media strategies and do social media marketing, maybe paid campaign or an influencer campaign, or maybe other arrangement of things you can do for a marketing. Then manage water. So this 4 portion of the social media usage on it. Okay. So social media objectives, social media strategies, social media marketing, and social media management. So this 4 category, we never forget. This before you start beginning, this 4 you need to complete after the auditing, or maybe by the, it can be simultaneously to go. Once you define this, before you're starting your work, the first thing, before you start engaging your social media, before you're even setting up the social media new, it's important to have an audit report also in place. So audit report and this 4 thing is the most important before we start. So the objective of my sneak peek at the beginning, as I mentioned, it is important to have these things in place before we start a campaign by next week. So I think another 10 days, after 75 days, we start the campaigns, right? Most of the things we start doing. So make sure that you are doing the auditing part and making ready all these aspects. Okay, so your social media objective, strategies, social media marketing, and management. This 4 point and auditing. Okay, and I'm not separating the goals apart from the auditing. That's part of our auditing part. So this 5 activities, most important part. Now, this social media objectives, when you list out, usually it is a majority of the time is with generating a lead or getting the person to the stores, right? So you need to doubt, and then you go to, which I discussed with you about, how many people we need to have a brand, to have a traffic to a place. So we need to have number of, what do you call that? The leads coming, number of traffic coming to the place. Okay. Then branding and awareness is you need to reach out to the people, etc. You want the people to come and look into an international brand or a legitimate brand or a reputable brand or a high-tech brand, or you need to project that way through your social media. And of course, customer support also, you can have one of the objective on it. Okay. Now there are a few other objectives we can have. It's a customer retention. How you retain the customer is an important aspect. How you monitoring them? It's another important part. And as we mentioned, it's a crisis to handle as well. We need to use that. Now, this creating a high quality content for your branding purpose or your sales purpose can be one of the objectives. Now, the important part, we need to take everyone as an individual, because the people do come forward. Okay. Now, to invite the people also, to sometime to you have a retail location. So you have an office or you have a shop. You want people to come to your place, to come to your shop. So through social media, you may direct, get the traffic as a leads to your place. Okay. Now, now you can actually you can increase your presence, increase the leads by going to the multiple platform. As a part of the strategy, we'll be discussing in detail that. Okay. Now, how do we branding? So a few ideas actually I'm going to share with you, so you can be prepared for your plan for 100 days or 30 days. So we'll have basically 30 days of plan of or championship. Then we will have another 100 days of plan. Then there's a 1 year plan. So it depends upon the plan you wanted to focus or multiple plan you wanted to have. You can have major events and holidays. You can utilize for various things, for engagement, to communicate to the people and get engaged. So now the crowd, you wanted to source, you get the crowd source you want to do, new feature you want to do, or you wanted to change the plan, or you wanted to modify the product, or you want to know how you priced it. All the things you can, and part of a objective you can keep, part of your branding part also you can do, and show the fan is very nice and a good friend as you can show them. So as I mentioned, the strategy we are not discussing a 70-20-10 now. It's basically just for your idea. I'll just give you. So you have an objective of sales and branding and lead generation. So you, if you start utilizing for that purpose every post, every content only for that, people are not going to like you. People are not going to engage with you. So if your niche is a good niche, you're solving some problem. Let's say you're dealing with a weight loss, and you provide various solutions for it. Then it's very important for keeping that communication effective around 70% of the time. You never speak about anything about the businesses. You just give a valuable content to the people, information to the people. That's it. And people engage with you because the updates, etc. They're getting the new information, they're getting new videos and other things they're getting, etc. Then the 20% thing you directly or indirectly you mention it as about your businesses. The 10 is a place you will talk about your business. That's it. So just like a commercial TV example, if you take it, the commercial TV, when you look into, we watch advertisement. We don't watch complete 30 minutes of advertisement, right? So 20 minutes of matter and 30 minutes on the advertisement. Sorry, 10 minutes advertisement. So in that 10 minutes advertisement, they're actually paced with 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, like that, right? So 70-20-10 principle, if you have 70% of the things you talk about as other matters, only 10% is the advertisement. So same strategy in a way, I'm showing not exactly the measure. So here is a 10 post is there. Only one post to talk about the business. 70% post talk about general information, interesting content, and people love to follow us and likes it, etc. And 20 is the indirect one, and sometimes related to the business, but you don't mentioning directly on it. Okay. So this is in general 70-20-10 principle. I think this is one of the strategy we're going to implement. All of you start thinking about, so your niche, what kind of a 70% of the communication, what will be the 20% of communication, what will be the 10 communication. So this is a 10 post will be there in 30 days time in our championship. So part of this one. So that one, we are going to create a lot of impact compared to 70 and 20. Of course, on 20 also, we might generate a lead, but 10 is the definitely explicitly we doing. So this is a thing which we follow. If you are planning to be a social media influencer, this is a important step for you to understand. Okay, so you need to follow 70-20-10 principle as well. Influencers also follow the same thing. But important is consistency, and it's also responding to everyone. Very, very important in this aspect. When you generate a lead, that become a part of it. Okay. Yes. Now, next is if you're using for a customer support, people do expect a good response, and people appreciate we are using the social media for responding to the customer. Okay. And important is that is care and honesty on these aspects. Where sometimes we do a mistake in the business, admitting that is in publicly, that's not an issue, unless it's causing a legal issues or huge brand damage. So people do appreciate that honesty, saying that no, we are replacing that as it was mistaken, wrongly packed. That is typical. Even Amazon, Alibaba issues happens. So that's this one is one, and that show that care. Okay, and retaining that, many of the customers is going to come and fight with you, or a complaint or raise you, but negative converting to the positive is very, very important and easy in a social media. In a real life example, or a real in the physical world, a customer walks in and complains to you. Actually, at that moment, particularly, you don't have a time to take a decision. You don't understand the problem. You may not have an approval from the other partners or other colleagues or other seniors to take it. But if you do a mistake on your website, when someone comes and complain it about it, you have the data, you have the time to respond for that. So you can go back with a more logical answer or a more reasonable thing, more justice one, and a fair deal. So make the customers happy about it. So this is important for a social media perspective. When we look at, we need to admit if there's a mistake and correct that one. Okay. So it's a very important. Many people don't do. We will think is the moment I do that one, my reputation will be damaged. See, as I mentioned, it's a serious brand damage, of course, or a legal problem is there. Of course, you should be careful, but important to admit and correct to the customers on that one. Okay, yeah, that's so it's very, very important part. Okay, now so one is this all the thing you can only know if you start monitoring, right? If you are not regularly monitoring your social media, you may not be all the things. So the first thing and every day morning when you start working, this is the your inquiry coming in, everything. It's a part of that. Just do it. It's an important part. Okay, and it is on a daily basis, twice or thrice looking at all the comment and share, and while all of the things important to do it as okay. Now there are a few things when you monitor. You saw someone is actually talking negative about you. It's not necessary to jump and fight with them. So many of the customers actually wanted to, you to be, away when you're discussing about the brand, and unless it's not damaging huge brand, according to me, you should let it happen. So that's the way the world is moved. That's very important. So it's not like earlier days. The world is changed. The meaning of security is changed. The meaning of the expression of opinion, an expression of their thought and other prospects is become very, very important. So someone comes and says something to your brand or a company, your website, or anything else, work is working with you. You don't have to jump and respond immediately. In fact, many other people really don't want the company to interfere that particular time when they're discussing about themselves. So that let it can be there. Okay, and if it is serious brand damage, you need to do. You might have seen many of the corporate website. You can see so many complaints about them. Sometimes they neglect, or you can see a one statement against it to clarify. But they don't block them, they don't remove them, they don't fight with that. So they don't overreact. When you overreact, as you know, it'll be a problem. So it will become more issues. So let it be. So tomorrow when you're doing, whether you're affiliate marketing, whether you're online shopping mall, anything, you don't respond in time, you don't reply to the mail, you not respond to the comment, still people come say you're not giving attention to me. So that's one of the reason they will make an issue. Okay. So so that is so we need to take in care of that aspects. We need to address that with common sense and with proactively. Okay. Now the empathy to understand others' perspective, that's very, very important to have it on. Okay. And the crisis management, there are 2-3 different types of a crisis we can manage through social media. So think about it, that's one of the objective. Sometimes it's something to clarify. We need to have a part of engagement. Sometimes even in social media itself is a creative problem. I'll share with you one example. So it is, what do you say? Some of them, as you know, the social media, even the employees say something now that organization has a problem, the brand has an issue. Maybe a customer talk about something else. Sometimes they can't either see a customer talking about. Even anybody related to anything on social media is saying that is it also leads to the problem. So this is an example. Even an employee of your company or a partner of the company, something they do um, will be a problem. Okay. So this is a typical example in the world actually given attention. This example you may be knowing. You think about how the company took a decision on it. So one of the lady who tweeted saying that is, um, just before the Obama, U.S. president become Obama becoming U.S. president, that's the time there is something called Obama mania across the world. That's that time somebody is coming and tweeting saying that is now even Obama grandma knew is going to be bad. She just passed away 3 days before he became president. So obviously, what had happened? The people reacted, and so the KitchenAid, the organization, had a lot of things to take on this. Okay. Now, what do? They need to step in, right? So one of the employees said this one. They cannot say I was our employee, and uh, the people definitely boycott and so much of things start happening. So, but immediately the head of the organization came and say, "This I'm so and so. This is I'm taking I'm talking on a record instead of you're talking someone to talk to us." That's what he said. Then he also said, "I'm taking full responsibility of my team. Thank you for hearing me out." Then the teacher actually, it was carelessly sent an error by a member of team that's showing that is not our opinion. And then immediately they added one more thing. So that made everybody calm. That is actually, needless to say, it won't be teaching anymore. That means she got fired. So that made many people do that. Okay. Then they apologized to the president and adding to them. Okay, this we discuss about how you link with them, tag them, etc. Okay. Now, so this is what exactly sometimes things goes wrong. We need to handle this way. So there are a lot of examples as in this the crisis to be handled. And one employee do small thing is also the company and a website get the bad name as well, right? So the crisis to be dealt properly. So it's also keep in mind. And apart from other crisis management activity we discussed. Now, social media marketing part. So as part of this one, how we market through social media directly, sales happening or a leads happening by doing a campaign, by using a social media influencer, different method we can utilize and to get it one. So social media marketing, it means using social media portals to positively, that in a defined we can positively influencing customers for a website, for a company, for a brand, a product, service, or a person. This is an important to have it on. So in ultimately what you're trying to do is making the person or forcing the person to buy the product. So basically conversion. So directly through your 70-20-10 principles, or through maybe other communication, you're continuously trying to communicate to the person's brain, say, hey, buy my products, buy my avail my service, and think about it as we are a good brand. So this is very, very important to have. Okay. Now, traditional media and social media is slightly different, as you know, how to work on it. So style is completely important. But here in social media, it's important to engage with the customer. So here, traditional media style, and here it's a completely different. So the promotion, the engagement is a very important part. So here in general, so internet is social. So you are doing an online business. We need to be the part of social media, and you need to the various tools to promote the thing network. And we can use various kinds of tools, do campaigns like email, discussion forums, instant messages, WeChat and WhatsApp, all the things we can utilize for part of the campaigns do when we do social media marketing. Now, what are the three things we should be mentally privy? Now, the following, the people, and regularly updating, regular engagement is a very important part. And this, I think all of you should start doing now, part of your growth of your social media, sharing and liking and following and subscribing and engaging them and tie-upping with them, partnering with them, discovering them, etc. You need to do. And if you don't do regular update, as once you start, and it has to be regular update. If you are not updating, people are going to approach. So you need to think about you constantly update, and you need to take commitment on it. So maybe I recommend around 1 to 2 hours of work on a daily basis on a social media. Depends upon your business model you have. Okay. Now, regular engagement, so very, very important. And you need to respond for every comment that's coming to you and take as a lead as well. And you can also have a fan page. There are a few things which is we be covering in the sneak peek. I'm not covering now, so we will do that one. Okay. Now, you can YouTube for business purposes, you should use it, and you need to blog business purposes, use it. So all the traditional thing we need to come to do that. And mailing list we need to do in a business tag. Of course, a LinkedIn and a professional network only you do it. Okay. So with the myths of which we'll end today. Then next day we'll take on a social media lead generation part. Now, myths on social media marketing is, and so people think social media is just a fad, just a fashion. Actually, no, it's keep changing. That's right. Like a fashion is not going to end, right? Fashion is going to change. Maybe fashion is always there. Fashion is not going to change. Fashion will not be. Fashion will be there. It's not going to obsolete. Every time will be there. Only thing is going to change. Similarly, the social media platform, it's going to change. So, what to say? We know sometime. So, long ago, people were using the best social media was email. Then there were Yahoo Chat and Yahoo Messenger, Yahoo Groups. That was the second one. Then come to Orkut. Then people started engaging with that. Then went to Facebook. Then most of the people come to the Insta and Snapchat and other things will become. So now tomorrow, be some other platform. We'll move on. Now I don't know. People are predicting in 2022, Facebook will go through a bigger change, and some other platform will take over, etc. So we never know what is going to change and how it's going to be changed. But this will be there. Okay, that's one. Many people think this is social media is for free. In a way, yes. But your time, your effort, your materials, your content creation, teamwork, everything has an investment and cost. It's not just a free. So we don't think it is a free. Your manpower, your time, effort, all things also has a cost, right? So it's not really free. Many people think there's no return on investment on media marketing. That's not true. You have a fantastic ROI on a social media marketing aspect. Okay. Many people think it's a younger generation. No, it is for everyone to use on nowadays. The demographic we started doing. And social media marketing is too time consuming. Actually, answer is yes, but your result also really good with that. Okay. And social media marketing is new. That some of the people think about that way. Actually, that's not true. So different product, as you know, different people uses in a different way. So that's called a strategy. Different platform has a different style. The way you cheat is not the way you talk on the Facebook. That's not the way you talk on Instagram, and that's not the way you talk on YouTube. And LinkedIn is completely different. So this is the way we need to utilize it. Okay. So today, I think the time is up. Now we end the lead generation of the social media. After sneak peek, we'll do tomorrow. I know it's going quite fast because it's a name indicates the sneak peek. The objective was today, you start doing auditing, you start defining the objectives and understand how for a business purposes, it will be used. Okay, thank you so much. I believe all of you got the sneak peek idea of what we are going to do social media, like 3 sales a day, etc. And I look forward to do the implementation of this one, each points which we discussed, how we do 3 sales a day, how we generate leads, all the things will be detailed and we can do when we start doing the real promotion aspect. Okay, so thank you so much. And a couple of minutes from now, I'll be joining the mastermind. So thank you so much, all of you. And tomorrow we'll continue with the lead generation activities of social media. Okay, thank you.